Genevieve over here at Bergstrom Lexus in Appleton. I've got the 2017 ES 350 here. Let's check it out. Here we go. So this is it. It is in eminent white pearl, and this one has the parchment leather interior. So I'll start here at the front. So it's got the hourglass grille, very similar to the 2016. Actually, I haven't really seen anything cosmetically different on this car versus the 2016. It still has the little LED wrapped lighting that stays on the whole time. There's a chrome strip that goes around the fog lights. It also has parking sensors on the front and rear bumper that beep at you when you get too close to things. This car is equipped with the premium package, and these are the 17-inch wheels that come on the car with the premium package. And it is still the brushed alloy. This is actually like a silver here, and then you have these black accents inside each of the wheels, or each spoke of the wheel. They don't come out or anything like they do in that package in the RX, but that is actually just what they look like. And then there's a different wheel that you can get on the ultra luxury package. Still turn signals in the side view mirror, blind spot monitors, of course. So then in the rear of the car, you'll notice this looks really similar to the 2016 as well. Still has the LED lighting, still has parking sensors, still has the chrome wrapping around the dual exhaust. You can really see the pearl right here when the sun's hitting it. Eminent white pearl is the color of this car. They used to be ultra white. It actually has changed a little. And so this one, like I mentioned before, has the parchment leather interior. And so you can see, just like in the other versions of the Lexus in the past couple years, when they do a parchment interior or a light gray interior, it is a two-tone. The only car that has an all solid interior is if it's got a black interior in it. So here, this is actually the leather part. This is a harder plastic, but they keep that the same color. Then they've got like a dark brown khaki on the top and bottom, just to give it a little bit of different accents in the car. Kind of the same thing with the bottom of the seat. That's actually a dark brown. On the back of the seat, it's kind of hard to see in here. It's a dark brown as well. Let's see here, kind of here in the back how it's got that. So it's just a really like two-tone accent in the car, which is really nice. And what I really like that they've done, if you've noticed Lexus cars over the past maybe 10 years or so, in the older versions of the car, when it had this color interior, it also had that color floor. So what always happened is as soon as you open the door, you see the floor that's the same color as this, and it's really dirty, and the carpet mats are always really dirty. So they started making the carpet the accent color. So this car actually has a brown bottom. If it had the light gray interior, it'd have a black bottom. The all-weather mats now actually match the bottom too. So usually the all-weather mats were always black. Now it's actually a brown that matches the floor. If it's a black interior, then they're black. But you can actually kind of see the brown here a little bit more. So they've kind of done that just to make the floor and everything of the car not so dirty right when you open it. And it really does make a difference. So the seats also still have the same stitching like the 2016s did as well. Heated and air-conditioned seats. All the perforated holes in the leather allows air-conditioned air to blow through the seats. Otherwise, it heats the seats with coils, just like regular seating. So some of the features: memory seating that keeps memory for 3 different drivers of your seats. Right here, the steering wheel, which is adjusted right here, and your side view mirrors. And it keeps it for 3 different drivers. One touch open close for all your windows. Unlock and lock for the whole car. This button locks out everybody's window except for yours. Little mat pockets. So I'm going to kind of hop in the car here now and show you a few other things. Over here, this button that's here is actually a new feature in the car. They had it in older versions and then they brought it back now. It's an auto dimming for your brights. So when you're driving around with the headlights on, you know how you can, if the headlights are on, you can push your toggle forward and it makes your brights be on. So when your brights are on, this button, if you just leave it pushed in, it can be pushed in or pushed out, just leave it pushed in. So when your brights are on, then it is an auto dimming feature. So if you're driving around with your brights, someone's coming at you, it just dims them automatically and then puts them back up when that person moves out, passes you. The next button that's right next to it is the parking sensors. I pointed out where those were on the outside of the car. When that's on, you see that little P right there in your instrument panel, letting you know that the parking sensors are on. And then the other button that's right next to it is your blind spot monitor. It turns on by letting you know, by having this little green light on right here. It does not show up on the instrument panel, so that is just off and on. So that shows up right here in the left side of the side view mirror. I don't know if you could see that. There you go, that bright orange, that's right there. That is actually what it looks like when it turns on. It's also what it looks like when it's being used. It does that bright orange light, and then if you turn your turn signal on, that light starts flashing at you, just so that you're aware that somebody is driving in the blind spot of the car. Here in the instrument panel, you have this little information screen right here. Right now it is set on what is actually called the info screen, and there are these buttons here on the steering wheel, these up and down and left and right buttons that I can move to change this information right in front. So actually I'm going to do that right now. Let me just go here. The first thing that it was on was this information screen, and if I move that little arrow up and down, it just shows me information about the car, tire pressure, sway warning, eco indicator, average fuel efficiency, time you've been in the car, miles traveled, and then this bar right here is actually just showing you like your current miles per gallon at that exact second. The next thing that's over is if you had the navigation system on, it would show you a small version of like your next route and those kinds of things. Otherwise, it just serves as a compass. If the radio was on, I'll turn it on here right now, then it would show you what you were listening to, what channel you were on. This is for the cruise control. This car has a feature on it called laser cruise. So the cruise control is the same kind of toggle that it has been in every Lexus vehicle ever since the beginning of time. This toggle right here. And how you always turn it on is you push this little button here on the side. And when I push that button, now I'm just going to leave my phone up here. When I push that button, it turns on that little green picture right there. So that means that the cruise control is on. So you just get to the speed you want, push down on the toggle, and you're set. But this car has this thing in front of us that says radar ready. So there's this button here on the steering wheel right here with this little picture of a car on it with lines in front of it. So I'm going to be pushing that button, and as I push that button, it's going to be changing the screen in front of me that says radar ready. So that's 3 car lengths in front of me, 2 car lengths in front of me, 1 car length in front of me. And what that means is if I leave it like this and I've got my cruise control on right here, and I'm leaving this to 3 car lengths, what that would be doing is kind of giving my radar 3 car lengths in front of me, so if a car moves in front and it's going slower than me, it bounces off that car and slows me down, and then when that car moves out of the way, it speeds it back up. So that's what the radar cruise control does. It actually would slow you all the way down to a stop as well if you were following close behind somebody. This would be if the car had any messages to tell you, like low fuel or check engine or anything like that. And then this is system settings that you can go in. So that's that little instrument panel right here. On the right side is obviously your speedometer and your fuel tank. So on the steering wheel, just kind of go back to that. On the left side, you've got audio controls for your radio and CD player. This little button right here is your voice command button that allows you to do voice commands in the vehicle for your climate controls, your Bluetooth, radio, basically anything. This is for your phone, picking up your phone and hanging up your phone, and it is Bluetooth connected, and it also has Bluetooth audio as well. Then on the right side, that's a big square button that I was pushing to change the instrument panel. This is a button that lets you back up to the other screen. This is a button that allows you to access a couple other features in the vehicle as well. This button right here is the button I was hitting that shows you the radar cruise, and this button that I'm hitting right here is for your lane departure. So I'm just going to do that quick. And you can see kind of right next to where that cruise control button is, the green button, I've got this other little picture of a car in a lane that looks like it's going out of the lane. And this is called lane departure. So what this means, and the reason why that's saying is because obviously I'm stopped right now, but what your lane departure is it will, when that feature is on, it will sense if the car, like if you fell asleep or something and then the steering wheel kind of started going like this and kind of swerving out of the lane. So then the car makes kind of vibrations to the steering wheel like this to kind of get your attention. It wants some feedback from you. So if it doesn't sense any feedback from you, it's shaking the steering wheel and you're not doing anything, it is actually going to move the car back into the lane and keep you center. If you're veering off into the lane on purpose, you just hold tight to the steering wheel and continue on, and it will let you do it. But otherwise, it is waiting for some feedback from you because it thinks you may have fallen asleep. So that is what that little button is right there. So these 2 things are also part of the new Lexus safety package. So it's the radar cruise, the lane departure, and then also part of the radar cruise is a pre-collision system, and that comes out of the front of the logo of the car. Like if this is the front emblem of the vehicle, it's a radar beam that comes out of it, and it is looking for things that are coming at the car to try to the car would be able to get in an accident with, and it's trying to help you avoid those by tightening up your seat belts, applying the brake pressure ahead of time, those kinds of things, slowing you down to a stop if you're in a parking lot and a person walks out in front of you, a pedestrian crossing. So those kinds of things, just to try to get you to avoid an accident. So then, kind of moving over here, it of course has the navigation system. If you put the car in reverse, it has the rear backup camera. There's lines on the backup camera, and when you turn the steering wheel, the yellow box moves so that you kind of know, which direction the car is going, and then the other box stays straight because that's exactly behind you. Otherwise, what shows up on here too would be radio controls if your radio was on. Actually, I'll turn it on here. Then you could also have climate controls that would show up on here. All up on the screen. So if you like using the mouse and using the toggles and those kinds of things and clicking things on the screen, you can do that as well. You can also do everything by buttons. So climate buttons are here, radio buttons are here, and then you can also do everything, remember, by voice command. So there's basically 3 ways to do everything in the car. So what's kind of cool about the radio, they sort of broken it up into 2 things. Radio is going to be anything AM, FM, or satellite. That's what's going to show up here. And media is going to be anything that is like a device that you bring in the car, or having your phone hooked up to it, or an iPod or MP3 player, any type of device that you would be able to listen to would show up in there. Dual climate controls, so you can still have different temperatures on either side of the car. Heated and air conditioned seats. Heated steering wheel. Power sunshade. This is an adjustment for the transmission. You can turn it to the left and it puts the car in an eco mode. You can kind of see it right there. And what that does is makes the car drive in a way that's going to get the best fuel efficiency. You can push this in the middle and it goes to the normal mode. You can turn it to the right and it puts the car in a sport mode, the opposite of eco mode, that is going to shift the car at a higher RPM and also give you a little snappier response and quicker pickup and acceleration, but it's also going to burn a little bit more fuel. The other button that's right underneath it is the traction control button, and you would only turn that off if you were stuck in a ditch or something and you wanted yourself to kind of be able to rock yourself out, let your wheels spin freely forward and backwards to rock yourself out. Otherwise, you want to leave the traction control on. And if you accidentally hit that off, it's going to say traction control off in front of you the whole time that you're driving to let you know that you accidentally turned that off. So that is a feature that you definitely want to have on the car. This is the mouse that lets you control things up here for the screen. So how I was doing all of that was just moving it around like this, and then when I wanted to click on something, I was just pushing down on the toggle. Or they have these little enter buttons here on the left and right side. So if you wanted to move stuff around and then click enter like that, or if the passenger is sitting over here and they're moving around, they can click enter with that side, with that side of their thumb as well. So that's how the mouse pad works here. Cup holder right here, cup holder right here, center console, this little storage compartment. Inside of here, if I can flip this open and get my hand out of the way, is USB plugs and auxiliary plugs, and then another plug that used to be like a cigarette lighter plug. So I know some cell phone chargers have those. So you've got all those kinds of plugs in it as well. The car, of course, has a moonroof. All the power adjustments for the moonroof are still right up here. Open and closing, tilting it up and down. This is your safety connect button, which is kind of like having a 911 button in the car. These are electrostatic, so you just rub your fingers across them and they turn on. Your home link system, you can program it to 3 different garage door openers right here in the rear view mirror. I kind of think that's everything in the car. I may have missed a couple things. If there's some options that you know that are on the car, put them in the comments below. We can talk about it. If you want to see something else, just let me know. Happy to help you guys. Take care.